we all like to talk about COVID, of course. We know COVID was a really challenging time. It caused a lot of chaos, I'm sure, in terms of working with really in any company, any business that has anyone that has to be on the floor in a factory in particular, or has to have any sort of logistical operations happening. I can't even imagine. Um, Really, HR has seen quite a bit of a revolution where the function has moved into kind of a business critical function. What do you feel like is really the future role of HR in your mind, especially as a leader in HR?
I mean, I think it really is going to be, I think some companies do a great job of having HR be that partner, but I think it's going to become even more critical as, the world continues to evolve, right? I think, um, we experienced a lot of growth during COVID, to be quite honest. I mean, and
Yeah.
being in supply chain and, we kind of, we were already on this hockey stick level of growth and it just seemed to accelerate it even further. But I think, to your point, I mean, that from an hourly perspective, there's a lot of hourly jobs that cannot be done remotely, right? And
Right.
so thinking through how to keep your employees safe, how to keep them engaged, how to attract that talent when a lot of the world is moving to a remote workforce. There's a lot of industries where that's not really feasible, right? I need people to come into the warehouse every single day. I need team members that will go drive, you know, um, trucks every single day and drive our forklifts and do maintenance on our forklifts. And those are all positions that, you cannot do maintenance virtually, right? Like you have to be on site, you have to be there to do it. And I think COVID really just highlighted the importance of, that of what people bring to the table and therefore highlighted the role that HR can play in the growth of a company, right? And I think I guess I emphasize can because I do think that requires HR teams to think a little bit differently, right? We should no longer think of HR as, the party planners or the, solely those team members who are there to deal with employee relations issues, right? We still do that. Like it's still really important to celebrate and have parties and to have fun at work. And it's important that you have people that can handle those employee relations, issues that come up. But it's also really important to talk about, okay, how do we attract the right talent? I mean, Sheila said it, we're still in this war for talent, right? We have unemployment that is really low, which is fantastic. But that creates challenges to find the right resources to come into your team. And so you want to attract the right talent. You want to make sure that you're training them so that they're going to stay with you. And then, ultimately you want them to grow with your company, right? So that we can see that kind of career progression if that's what they desire, so that they can kind of move higher into the company. And I think that requires a different mindset for HR. It requires more of that analytical kind of thought process. And it requires you to really think about that entire employee life cycle and what are you doing to really kind of touch each part of that employee life cycle as they're kind of moving through their journey with your company. Um, and I think, as we continue just growing as, a country, that I think you're going to see more chief human resource officers. I think that's just going to be, it used to be a title. It's been around, but I think for some companies, it's never really been something that they've overly utilized. And I think as companies grow, you're going to start seeing more and more of HR being at the table, but being really considered when they implement policies.
Yeah, I think the strategic nature, I mean, I would imagine your business, the number one expense line is got to be people.
It
And
is.
so, like, if you're looking at, a continuous improvement mindset and looking at, your Pareto charts of expenses, like people are going to continue to be that for a very, very long time.